The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome to Freedom Chat, where real Americans speak their minds. And no topic is off limits. No scripts, no judgment, just honest conversation, raw, unfiltered, and free. If you're ready to challenge the narrative and celebrate true freedom, you're in the right place. This is Freedom Chat.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We have two guests. We have one who was with us before. That'd be Keith Hoover. And we have a new person, Miss Nellie.
Hey.
Welcome aboard.
Hey, Nellie.
Nellie, introduce yourself for a second.
Well, I'm from Houston. My name is Nellie, and I voted for Trump 3 times. I'm a lesbian, and I'm trying to get lesbians over to the Trump side.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic. And Keith, reintroduce yourself, you storm-chasing mother.
Yeah, I guess I am a storm-chasing mother, ain't I? Especially since I'm watching the tornado watches down around Florida and Georgia right now, too.
Wow. Holy smokes. All right. Well, look, let's get right into it. I walk around my place of work, and we'll kind of start it off like this. You walk around your place of work and you look at each other, and I always tend to stop and go, well, what makes us different? And then what makes us the same? Well, at work, what makes me the same is, at least part of the group is we're all bus drivers. What makes us different? There's other people there who aren't bus drivers. They're bus assistants. We call them paraprofessionals. And it kind of got me to thinking, what about our country? What are similarities about our nation? And by extension, what are the differences of our nation? What makes us the same and what makes us different? And that leads to other questions that nobody likes to ask, which is, what are the strengths of being the same? Or what are the strengths of being different? I think that being different and being from different backgrounds is a definite benefit. Keith, you and I both served in the military. And the fact that we did come from different backgrounds, I don't want to call it diversity. It could be construed as diversity. I just think that we came from different places. But we were all Americans. I mean, hell, even the Filipinos that joined the military to become American citizens, they identified themselves as, Filipino, mafia, of course, but they still considered themselves Americans. That's what I know. So what makes us different and what makes us the same? We'll start with the easy part. What makes us the same? And we'll just do a round robin. So we'll start with this guy over here. I pointed at you.
Uh-oh. That means it's my turn.
It is your turn.
What makes us the same? As Americans, American citizens, I mean, the majority of us enjoy our freedom. We like the idea of free will, and those are both pretty good things, and that's why we've always had to fight to keep it that way.
Right. Mom, what makes us the same? What are things that makes America alike? Americans alike?
Our language, for one thing. You take away a cohesive language and go into having this group has that language and that group has another language and what have you, and you go into tribal societies, and tribal societies are not a good thing because they have no cohesion. Whereas if you all speak the same language, you do have cohesion, and you speak and understand and teach and learn the same way.
Okay, so is it okay to have multiple languages as long as you got one primary?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll get into that because I can kind of bring that home. Nellie, I'm sorry. I have to apologize. Nellie, I'm horrible with names, even though I can read your name. I am also horrible with reading.
You can't even remember my name.
No, at times I just call him D because,
what
it's
everybody else
just
calls me.
easier.
Well,
No.
personally, I like the idea that we have the freedom to go here and there without being harassed or, we really are just people. And we do have different points of views, and that's okay. And, in elections, as long as no one is cheating, the winner wins. That's, we don't have to, we're not always going to like it.
Right. And I think that's one of the things that does kind of attribute to being a strength. Keith, what makes us different and what makes us the same? What do you see as a similarity for American citizens?
I'm like, if you really want to take a look at like some of the crazy stuff, we're all the same inside. We all bleed red and all that good fun stuff.
Right.
But that's really about it I can think of off the top of my head right now.
Well, being as I'm the last, I guess I get to have my say. What makes us the same is we were all born under a banner that represents freedom and liberty, and we're all born in a nation that is the ultimate nation when it comes to opportunity. Whether you're lesbian, whether you're gay, whether you're black, whether you're white, you have the same opportunity to succeed as anybody else, despite what you've been told, despite what people have been told. The opportunity is there because look, opportunity does not have in any way, shape, or form. And Keith jumped off. Don't be surprised if Keith jumps on and jumps off. That just tends to happen. But I honestly think that what makes us the same is the fact that we do have opportunities. And Keith, come back on. There you go. There you go. You're back on and back off. But I do. I think that the fact that we were born in a country that people, our founders fought to make sure that we have the rights that we have, right? If someone's watching TV, turn off the TV or turn down the TV.
I just wonder if the fact that they're using testing the glove.
Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Sorry, I generally have a lot of things running, so it doesn't bother me.
No, it's good. But when you look at what makes us alike, it's like Nellie said, we can go anywhere we want within the continental United States, and hell, we don't even need a passport to go into Hawaii because it is a part of the United States. We don't need a passport to go to Alaska. Those are the two outlier states, right?
What about Puerto Rico?
I guess I don't think we need a passport to go in it.
No, you don't need a passport for Puerto Rico.
So there you go.
Their territory.
Right.
So we can go to places freely. That is something that makes us very much alike. We can be mobile,
right,
and go and experience the different cultures and different things. We do share a common language, and yes, that common language is English. I can tell you right now, being a bus driver and picking up kids that don't speak English, it can be a challenge because they don't speak the language. And I'm not against them being on my bus, but it does make things difficult when I can't communicate what I need to communicate with them.
Right.
I think that when you get a group of people who do speak a different language and you don't speak their language and they are talking in their language, it can make things a little more challenging because you don't know if they're talking about you. You don't know if they're talking in a negative light or a positive light about you. And that can, that can be a problem.
The thing with me and learning the English language for everyone that lives here, the biggest thing is like, what if you have to tell somebody, what if there's an emergency? How are you supposed to communicate that to somebody who's has no idea what you're saying?
Right.
I mean, you basically got to grab them by the shirt collar and say, let's get the hell out of the building. It's on fire.
Right. and it is like what Mom said, when you have groups of individuals that speak their own language, and look, that isn't saying that you can't speak more than one language. It's simply
Right.
stating that the primary language should be the primary language of the nation,
Yes.
because when it does become tribal, it becomes very separated and it becomes an issue.
Right.
Other similarities, the fact that we can work. Hey, we all pay taxes as American citizens. That's
Well, we're all
that's an
supposed to.
unfortunate similarity. We shouldn't all be paying taxes, but
We're all supposed to be.
now we can get into differences. What makes us different? And I'm going to start with Nellie. Go first.
You mean different just in people or the cultures or?
What makes us different as Americans? What are some of our differences as Americans?
Oh, I don't
You know,
know.
that's-
A bunch
that's
of things.
tricky one,
My
isn't it?
relatives are from Yugoslavia, and they came over. Let's see who. And I'm part German. I'm part Scottish, and they came over and just tried to make it. Dude, they were not promised that they would make it. They were simply given the option of you. If you come here, you can try to make it with other people pressing you. You must do this. This is what you will do. It's not a king kind of thing.
Right. Mom? What are some of our differences?
The underlying culture that you come from, if you cling to it too hard, that is a major difference between different areas. There's a major difference between the culture of the East Coast and the West Coast. The people who live on the East Coast and the West Coast have no real understanding of what it's like to live, say, in Colorado or North Dakota or South Dakota, where you drive for 300 miles and think nothing of it, because it's a totally different area and they do not think the same way. They
Right.
think much more insular and
Right.
much more controlled because they're all packed in smaller areas.
Right. Keith, what about you? What makes us different?
Well, I could go off with both the ladies here. I come from a German, French, pretty much what you could say a European background.
Right. Right. Dennis, what makes us different? Dennis is typing on his.
And of course, like Phyllis there, it's nothing for us to say, oh, I'll take a 600-mile trip to Denver,
Right.
where like Britain, anything over like 15 minutes to a half hour is too far.
Right. Right.
Rhode
So
Island's the same way.
Dennis, what are some of our differences as Americans? What are some of the things that make us different?
Oh, there's a ton of things, man. How long do you have? How many?
Well, I don't know. We got to
Yeah.
get ready to go to break in like 2 minutes because
Okay.
I got my favorite break.
I'll do my short version. There's a lot of differences. I mean, there's culture. We all have different culture backgrounds. Even if we were born here, we're all, depending on where your ancestors came from, we all like
Nice.
different kinds of foods. We all like similar foods.
And we're going to get into that. We're definitely going to get into that in the next segment.
Right.
What makes us different? I think where we come from, our cultural backgrounds are not the same. Thanks to my mom, I learned that one of my great grandfathers created the Gadsden flag, which is pretty cool.
Don't tread on
and
me.
and I have a bunch of my ancestors who fought in the American Revolution. So, I kind of adapted that revolutionary mindset when it comes to our country because, that's my lineage, right? we all come from different places. Those of us who are what 7 generations into the United States, it's less apparent than others. Like my wife is like maybe 2 generations, right? And I agree with what you were saying, and we're going to get into that after the break. But we're going to go into our first break, and give us a second. Here we go.
Cool tats, man.
Oh, for real. Thank you, bro. You see the Cobra?
And what is this one?
Oh, this? That's my credo. No regrets.
You have no regrets?
Dad?
Nope.
Like not even a single letter?
No way. Not me.
Well, I love him. I think he's great.
Okay.
I think he's a real winner, Casey. If I were you, I wouldn't use protection.
Okay. So, Nelly, just so you know, I've been playing that every Sunday morning. I've been playing that one, and I've got another one that I play at our second break. And I mean, there's just certain things that you just need to laugh, and that's one of my favorite.
That one's great.
That was so funny. No regrets. Not even one letter.
Nah, bro, that's my credo.
All right. So what makes our similarities a strength? I want to start this one. What makes our similarities a strength? If we have similar, if we share a similar sense of pride in our country, that's a strength, because and there's multiple ways to look at that. But that is, in my eyes, a definite strength of, hey, we all love our country. Right. I love the United States. I tell people the American flag is the greatest flag in the world. It just is. And I would know because I collect flags and I fly different flags, and I educate the entire world on the different flags.
They are cool.
Of our, especially of our country, because I think that our country's flags are rather, they're probably not any more unique than the rest of the world, but they're unique to me. I think that our similarities of the fact that we understand, or at least most of us understand, that opportunity is there for us if we take that opportunity. That is a strength in as far as similarities go. I'm going to turn it over to Keith. I'm going to let you start. What makes similarities and our similarities a strength for our country?
Well, we could also look at our differences also being a strength too.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. We're definitely going to get into that. I want to focus on both of these things, because I want to do the differences as a strength last, because I have exact examples of that. So what makes our similarities a strength? And by look, I mean, if you want to go weaknesses as well, we can do that. I mean, you can hold that in the same conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably just hold it to the next one.
Okay, good. Mom?
I'm not sure on how that one can be answered, because it's a very personal thing on the similarities. I find that from what I can tell, there's parts of the country that the similarities are getting much further apart than they ever were, due to the infusion of people from other countries that did not come in here legally, if you want to put it that way. And if they do not tend to assimilate to our culture, they want us to assimilate to theirs, and that's a total different thing.
Well,
so it
right.
makes similarities much harder to find in certain areas, and it's getting harder in Denver.
Okay, but that's what I'm getting at, is we do have similarities, and the similarities are our strengths. Identifying, okay, let's use this as an example. I'm a Colorado Avalanche fan. Dennis is a Colorado Avalanche fan. And Nelly, I'm not going to make any assumptions, but I would assume you're potentially a Dallas Stars fan, right?
No.
Okay. So that doesn't
Being
even.
an Avs fan, yeah, I could agree with that one.
Okay. So we've got 3 people here who share a similar affinity to a professional sports team, and we could go Broncos and Chiefs, Keith. Just kidding, but Dennis and I are both Broncos fans, and Keith is a Chiefs fan. The similarities that Dennis and I have as Broncos fans are going to be different than Keith and fellow Chiefs fans. That whole thing is just, it's a different thing, but the similarities of, I can identify with Dennis as a Broncos fan. I can identify with Keith and Dennis as Avalanche fans.
Right.
We
And
have the
similarities we have as football fans.
right. And we have that. If you look at that in a wide basis, we should all, and this is very difficult to do, and Mom, you're right, it's very difficult to pinpoint, and I think a lot of it has to do with education, and it's not indoctrination, it is education. We should all, I was, and Dennis was, and I'm positive my mom was, when we went to school, we were still proud of our country, right? I mean, we were still, we're children of the Cold War, for one, and we were also children of what amounted to the end of World War II. So we still had, fairly fresh in our minds, the victories of World War II, and yes, the disappointments of Vietnam and Korea, but we were all proud to be Americans. We shared that similarity. Nelly, I kind of want to see if you can kind of bounce off of that.
For me, it doesn't really matter if you're like let's say, lesbian or whatever, as long as you're for the country, not getting into other people's rights. And if if you're talking about your teams, if one team loses and the other one wins, hey, have your fun with it, and then you move on. You go into the next season without hate.
Right. And trust me, I can tell you that.
Yep.
Keith and I
do wonder about his black eye, but
Keith and I have given each other a hard time back in the past, and I don't hold it.
I don't know how many times there.
Too many times to count. What makes our differences strengths? I'm going to let Dennis go first.
What are what?
Differences, strengths. What makes differences strengths? We're going to wrap this up into a neat little bow, but we got to get through all of the various elements.
So where do we find strength in our differences is what you're asking me.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. What makes our differences strengths is what it boils down to.
We have differences of opinion, but those opinions can be combined into one solid solution if everybody wants to be reasonable about the issue. I'll call it an issue, or if there is an issue.
Yeah, we're learning about that in Colorado.
Oh yeah.
I
mean Colorado.
Yes, something like that. Mom, what makes differences strengths for our country?
The differences in our strengths is that one person thinks of a solution, which is something that is from his or her background, way of doing something that someone from a different background wouldn't have any idea of because they were never in that situation. An example would be somebody who hunted all their lives would have a totally different perspective on hunting, which is a difference of opinion and or a strength, as someone from the city who has never ever done anything but walked out of their apartment and said, "Nice doggy."
Right. Nellie, what do you think?
Well,
total difference.
It's kind of weird, but it's like in our diets, different cultures have different diets, and some are actually a little bit healthier, and we're learning from that.
Right.
And that makes us all greater when we learn from each other.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Keith?
Pretty much all the way I'm hearing, and kind of from what I see, what I've seen. Pretty much, each culture could bring in their own aspect on things, which could contribute to the bigger picture.
Right.
Definitely.
Here's a really good example. I was stationed in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba for 6 months, and I learned the proper way to barbecue from a group of guys from the southern part of Maryland. They were a part of the Maryland National Guard unit, and they were the ones that taught me how to cook ribs via indirect heat and how much more of a benefit it is to cook with indirect heat, better control, working with a thin glaze of barbecue sauce instead of dousing the crap all over it.
You weren't putting them on the engine block of a Jeep or anything.
No, I was
were you?
thinking about it, but I
Okay.
mean, I don't think that they have, engine. Well, I don't know. In Cuba, they do have motors. There were a couple of hoopties out
You can
there.
cook food on
But-
an engine block.
But
I've
but
heard.
the thing is that I learned something from their culture,
Right.
from that
Right.
Maryland culture, that the way they barbecue, and I really fell in love with it.
That's cool.
I know that Keith will tell you Kansas City barbecue, Kansas
Best in the
barbecue.
world.
Arguably yes. I mean, I think that it's all got some benefits. I can tell you that I just was telling Dennis before the show, I cooked 2 batches of chili. I always cook 2 batches of chili because I like a difference in flavor. I like a difference in texture. My wife only likes one kind. I think to myself, how freaking boring. But it comes from when my wife likes something, and our family, when you like something, you don't change it because you want to go back to that enjoyment. How does that become a strength? Well, I can tell you on a ship, we got guys from New York and from Florida and from Illinois, and you got dudes that walk with a quarter limp because that's the way they've been walking their entire damn lives. And those differences become strength because when you get onto a ship, all of a sudden you're all pulling in the same direction. And you laugh at each other and you make fun of each other's differences. Hey, I'm just as podunk from Colorado. At the same time, hey, that dude there is from backwards Arkansas, like my buddy Terry Frost. He's this clown from Arkansas. But when you combine all of that into one cohesive unit, you've got an unbreakable machine. And that's what is the beauty of our diversity being a strength.
What I had a good friend. We went through a boot camp, ATD school, and onto the Nimitz together. Straight from he was like second generation Italian,
right?
And his from Lower Manhattan,
right? Yep. And that's a different kind of an animal entirely, ain't it? So what is the one thing that needs to happen to make our similarities and our differences complete? I'll give you mine, and I'll let you guys give you yours. In my humble opinion, the way you make your differences and your similarities a complete no gain, no garbage strength is when you combine them with the pre-existing values that your nation has held. And here lies the challenge that Mom is talking about when she talks about illegal aliens. Oh, and those of you who watch this show, you know that we don't shy away from calling them what they are. They're illegal aliens.
We don't sugarcoat anything here.
If you want to call them illegal immigrants, I don't care. I'm not gonna. They're illegal. Doesn't matter. They acted illegally. They came across illegally.
Keyword.
They also do not want to assimilate into the pre-existing value structure. They don't. And I'll be very honest, the ones who have come, I mean, sometimes you can call it legal if you want to call it that, but when you have pre-existing cultures who their culture is all based around absolute compliance, just look to Minnesota and parts of Denver, and that's the way their culture works. It's not compatible with the pre-existing values and value structure that is what founded our nation. So in order for the differences to become a strength and the similarities to be even more strengthened, there has to be an understanding of assimilation into the pre-existing values, not traditions, values. So I'm going to start around the room with Dennis.
Well, there's a couple of cultures that cannot be assimilated. It's just not going to happen. They don't want to, whether they want to or not, which most of them don't. And I think we all know who I'm talking about.
You want me to say it?
Oh, please do. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Islam.
Woo! There we go.
Hey, give that girl a gold star.
No, silver. She's new.
Okay. Well, yeah. But no, it's I prefer people, as I think we all do, to have an open mind about any culture that has something to share. But the ones that don't want to do anything but cause chaos and disruption, they don't have anything to share. And so therefore my open mind shuts like a steel trap at that point, because I don't want to hear anything, because all it is bad for the rest of us. And that's not what we need here.
Nelly?
What was the question again? Oh, what's the bad?
What makes our differences? What is the one thing to make our differences and our similarities a stronger?
Well,
what
it's
makes it stronger?
when people come over, it makes it stronger when they merge with us, as opposed to here's my rules, you take them. They need to merge with us, as everybody else is doing. So
Right.
that, that doesn't mean they can't be a little different, but you can't, you're not going to marry a 6-year-old girl. That's just how it is.
What,
Not in my life.
Not in
Well, no,
this.
hang
not
on
in this
a
country.
second. Wait, yeah, I can't marry a 6 year. I could have sworn that I was told by somebody that was okay.
Oh, was that Muhammad? Was his name Muhammad?
Well, no, the one that told me wasn't Muhammad, but I think it was one of the guys that follows that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a problem. Steve, Keith, what's your take on this? Was I spot on, or was I a little off?
No, you were spot on. Yeah, you really don't want my opinion.
No,
about,
we do.
religion.
Hey, Keith, the Band-Aids, there are no Band-Aids in this show.
Oh.
Okay? Trust me when I tell you, I had one guy quit because when we took the Band-Aids off, he got a bloody nose.
And that's sugar-free, by the way.
Sugar-free? Are you sure it's not the Zero brand?
Yeah, we can't sugarcoat nothing in this room.
But no, I think that, like,
Keith is a little choppy, but that's all right.
Oh,
We'll let Keith come back on. We're gonna lose Keith. Mom, what's your take on it? There we go. Go ahead, Keith. Go ahead and repeat that.
Okay. Pretty much, I think we all could get together, get along together, as long as we are willing to come together with an open mind and learn each other's culture.
I
Like
agree.
Damn ragheads.
No, I agree
That's
wholeheartedly. And you know what? That is something that really, people don't want to admit that, but that is a pretty big, significant challenge that we're currently having. And we can delve into all of that. Hey, it's our show. Mom, where do you, was I spot on with my opinion of the way we become strong in our differences is if we assimilate, and if others assimilate into our values.
The only way to stay a country as a country, we have to maintain the values of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights to begin with. And in order to do that, one has to understand whenever you come into the country as an immigrant, as my great-great-grandparents did from England, that you assimilate, that you work with the existing culture and learn how things are done.
Right.
You can keep your own way of doing things, but you still, the overall country is the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And once you stop using those as a guideline, then you're going to stop having a country.
Right.
And
So
as far as I can see,
That's a no
this
on
is my
Sharia
big
law.
bugaboo. Sorry, guys. What I can see happening with the Democrat Party is they have become totally, they want one party rule and they want it to be their one party, which means they would be forever and we would lose everything.
Okay, we're going to take a real quick break, and we're going to come into when we get in now. Now the Band-Aids really come off, because I think we're all kind of thinking the same way as far as what we need to really talk about. And we're going to use some examples of that because, I mean, the past week has been pretty enlightening.
Ruh-roh.
All right, here we go.
What happened to you? But Ruben, I'm in a situation here. We have to leave now. Well, no, can we stay a couple more minutes? But dude, no, this is serious. I just sharted. I don't know what that means. I tried to fart and a little shit came out. I just sharted. All right, now let's go.
There's a car behind us.
A doggy.
So that's the second one of the shows of the little interludes, and I keep trying to get Joel to give us a couple more of those because
we need a couple more of those.
I don't do any of the other ones because the other ones just don't make me laugh.
Well, they're too long. Too.
Well, yeah, they are. They're too long. But I like
that first one. He might need this.
All right. So here's an example of what happens when and this is really okay. So you guys all know that it's a Muslim that's running New York now, right? There's also a Muslim who is the lieutenant governor in Virginia, and I gotta say something. God bless him. But you know what? You want to know about the values of Mamdani? A guy was caught by the New York police, and actually what happened was the guy was trying to stab a member of the New York police, and Mamdani, instead of visiting the police officer, he visited the guy with the knife, and he came out and said that man shouldn't be handcuffed. So let me see. Are we a nation of laws, or are we a nation of I'm going to support whatever it is that I think I want to support? And what happens if a member of Mamdani's family is murdered by one of these animals, these street animals that are out there in New York? What's his response going to be? This is what I'm getting at. He doesn't share our values, and he's in the biggest city of our nation, and he's quote unquote governing it, if you want to call what he's doing governing.
I haven't seen a whole lot of that going on yet.
I don't know. He's able to flip New York City to red.
Right.
All on his own.
And,
exactly.
And let's take a look at Virginia while we're on the subject. That the woman who is now the governor of Virginia.
Bless
All
her
right,
heart.
let me tell you all a little bit about this woman. Everybody who followed her from before she campaigned knew she was radical, and they knew she was a communist. They knew it. She managed, with the help of the mainstream media, to convince everyone that she was moderate, right up until she took the oath of office.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, not so moderate now, are you?
She changed like 50 different
I
things.
mean, I'm telling you
almost
what.
immediately.
I don't know if you could look past all those taxes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of them too.
Well, look, I got my opinion on taxes, but we can cover that in another show, and that'd probably take the entire damn hour.
Yeah, I think we think the same.
Yeah, so this is what happens, and look, I am all for people from other countries gaining citizenship. I just am becoming a firm believer that if you take on the United States as your nation, you need to drop your affinity and your affiliation with the nation you left. You chose to come here,
especially if it was communist.
Are we all in agreement with that?
Oh, I agree.
Mom?
Oh yeah.
I think that there's a fundamental problem with people, and I'm going to talk about people that are in office right now.
Ilhan Omar.
People that are in office that are as loyal to their origin as they are to us.
Yeah, and there's a crap ton of them too.
And I'll tell you what, I'm sorry, they should be removed from office. This is not okay. And for those of you who are watching, and I don't know how many people are watching because I actually can't even see the number. I think that the number is actually on the other computer, on the project manager's desk over here. But look, I'm not against anybody becoming a United States congressman or a United States senator. I mean, the rules in the Constitution are pretty clear, and they do all meet the criteria. Ilhan Omar is an American citizen, whether we like it or whether we don't. I don't. And she meets the criteria to be a United States congresswoman. Look, I hate saying it, but that's what it is. If we're going to be true to the Constitution, we need to be true to the Constitution. But
I'm just like that dude from India that has the bad hairdo and
and the even worse accent. And the even worse accent, right?
There's a brown Jimmy Fallon.
But I don't know if you guys listened to Marco Rubio's speech Friday in Munich, but it was brilliant. And if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. It's 21 minutes long, but I'm telling you right now, it is the cornerstone of what we're talking about right now, right here. But he put it on a global scale about our shared values as the European nations and America, and how those values should not be diminished, but rather should be leaned into. That our greatness is what makes us special, and our differences are also our similarities, and that makes us special. I take that to the United States. What makes us different is what makes us great. Our differences makes us special, but only if we maintain our allegiance to our country and we are true to our values. And like my mom said, just go to the Constitution of the United States. I've been challenged on the Constitution numerous times. I've yet to be beaten.
Mark, getting to Rubio's speech about World War II.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a good example of the differences for the common good.
Right.
Because we basically, the United States has its own way of doing things. And that's a broad spectrum. Could be militarily, it could be whatever.
Right.
Italy, Germany, France, the UK, they all have their own different ways of doing things.
Right.
But we came together as a collective
Right.
And we kicked that red menace's ass.
Right.
Right. So there's a huge commonality right there.
Right. Right. And, like mom has said, the Constitution is where our values were. I don't want to say that's where they were created, but that was at least where our values were put on paper. This is what we believe. The Declaration of Independence is all we need to know is that, all men are created equal by our Creator. And I think that we need to just go back to that kind of thinking. And it's very hard when you have so many people. And honestly, the youth has got some major issues coming up. And New York is about to learn these lessons right now. Nellie, do you agree with me about New York about ready to learn some very valuable lessons?
I think so. And to tell you what bothers me, one of the things, probably the most out of our country right now, are the teachers. They're really messing with our kids.
Oh, you are so correct.
Yep.
That is actually one of the biggest problems. Mom, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would.
And Keith, where are you at with that?
I'm going to have to agree.
Yeah. So how do we fix that little problem? Because I can tell you right now, the biggest challenge you got is you ain't got enough teachers right now. You seem to have plenty of indoctrinators, but not true educators.
Right.
And I can tell you that from, the experience of being a school bus driver, we ain't got enough drivers. I mean, we as a collective are getting literally run through the ringer, man. It's ugly in the district because there ain't enough drivers. The juggling act that our operations department has to do is nothing short of miraculous, man. And it literally, I'm telling you, I'm not joking, the numbers are not there right now. And I don't have an answer for that. I wish I did. I don't have an answer. What I do wish is that at least when you talk about our history, that they wouldn't interject their opinions with the history. I just,
right.
It starts to sow seeds of disloyalty. And I'm not saying blind loyalty. I don't want, here's what I'm against. And Nellie, you'll learn this about me. I'm not blindly loyal to anybody. I am a constitutionalist as far as political affiliation. That isn't even a party. I tend to follow the writings of George Washington and what he taught all the way back 200 and change years ago. I don't like parties in any way, shape, or form. I voted for Trump twice. I didn't vote for Trump in 2016 simply because I followed Washington's opinion, which is you vote your conscience. And at the time, I voted Libertarian. That said, the Libertarian Party has gone off a couple of freaking deep ends too. Mm-hmm. So you can't really affiliate with them. And quite frankly, Donald Trump is a disruptor and an outlier. And the world doesn't like that, which is why he gets the pushback that he gets.
All these globalists, they can't stand that.
So, as we go into, here we are into month number 2 of 2026. How do we convince Americans that it's important to be proud of being Americans? I can't tell you how many times I go into work and I hear someone bad mouthing our country. And I'm like, bad mouth the president if you want. I don't care, but don't bad mouth the country.
Yeah. They're confused with what the two are, the differences, and they relate to them as the same.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And, I've had people say, you always wear American flags. I wear, skull caps, and most of them are patriotic. And don't you understand that those flags are different symbols to other people? And I just look at them and, Nellie, you're going to love this. I basically look at them and say, I don't care. I don't care. Their feelings and their opinion on the matter are not my business, and they're not my problem.
Well, Mark, you know as well as I do too. A lot of these kids are all against, like, oh, fuck America this, fuck America that.
Right.
Look at who their parents are. That they never left this country.
Right.
They don't know how good they actually have it here. I believe we talked about that like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah, we did, and what we were talking about then was the ICE protests and the chaos that surrounds the ICE protests. What I find funny about the ICE protests is just how uneducated the kids are, and mom and I have talked about this more than once, just how uneducated they are about ICE and its operations, and the fact that it hasn't changed its operations at all. The only difference is the guy at the top of the guy in the glass house, so to speak. And, I'm sure Mom, I haven't seen anything about him because you know what? Minnesota started to comply and started to help. And all of a sudden the violence ended. Hey,
imagine that.
That's kind of
I
crazy.
saw that they were rioting again.
Are they? But are they, is that coming from the governor and from the mayor that they're still out there being complete morons?
I was going to say for a while they started going after Waltz when he made that deal.
well, they should go after Waltz. I mean, I hate saying this about.
I'm like, you guys butt hurt for people driving by calling him retard.
Yeah.
Look,
that was a nice thing to say about him.
I really okay. So since we're on that subject, let's talk about I'm not afraid of the people that are voted into office. I'm afraid of the people that are actually voting them into office.
Right.
I mean, the guy that we had on our show that was a dissenting voice, he lasted exactly 2 episodes. And when he got off of the show, he basically said we were Trump apologists. Mom, how many times have I criticized the president since we started this show?
Well, you're not certainly a Trumper, that's for sure.
No, I've been as critical of him as a lot of people. Like I've said numerous times,
as you should be.
I sometimes wonder if look, the guy is really good at reading the room. He really is. But there are times when I wonder if he's more full of himself than he needs to be. I mean, there's no question the man is an egotistical maniac. The guy changed the name of the Kennedy Center to include his name in it.
Right.
I don't think ego is a problem here.
Yeah, no, he's definitely, he's okay there in that.
But
yeah, I'm like, he's also really good at shit talking too, because liberals eat that up like candy.
Yeah. I mean, he is really good at certain things. He's really good at disrupting the establishment. And honestly, we need more of that and less of, everyone marching in a perfect line. There's a song that Megadeth, Mom doesn't know anything about Megadeth, but there's a song called Mastermind, if you guys have ever heard it, where it literally is talking about you're going to do exactly what I say, you're going to do exactly what I think, and you're going to think exactly as
Master of Puppets.
Oh yeah, well that's Metallica. I'm talking about Mastermind is a song by Metallica. You should check it out.
Oh yeah.
Or by Megadeth.
Yeah.
Though, I think though, when Trump renamed these buildings and is doing this and that, I think he's doing it purposely to get them going, to see what kind of havoc they wreak, and so to let the other side say, "See, this is what you're going to get at the end of the day."
All right, then let's not talk about that ballroom now.
Oh yeah, hey, let's talk about the ballroom. Why don't we talk about the ballroom? I personally think that the ballroom is brilliant, and I think that the ballroom is a representation of our nation, and I find it hilarious that even people that are Trump supporters, well, I think he overstepped his bounds. Well, I don't know. I mean, Roosevelt did work over there, both Teddy and Franklin. Obama turned it into a basketball court. Nobody seemed to have a problem with that.
Because before then it was a swimming pool.
Right. As a therapeutic pool for Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And that
one of them had a bowling alley in it.
Right. Nixon had it as a bowling alley. And all of that was on taxpayers' dime.
Right.
This is being funded privately. and it is going to represent our country, and it's going to allow the president to have dignitaries in the nation from other nations, and it will be a more apt representation of our country. And I don't see why that's a bad thing. I mean, he's not doing it for personal use. There's no basketball court. There's not a bowling alley.
Well, he's
But
not
it does go to show you how much the left just wants to yell at him over nothing. They're not paying for it. This would only help America. It just they're complaining about nothing.
Right.
And he can't take it with him when he's gone in 3 years.
Right. And
Right.
that's the other side. It's not, and Nelly, I'm glad you brought up the left. It's not just the left. It's everybody who has decided that they detest him. And, you know, the quote unquote, the never Trumpers.
Right. Yeah.
Or the ones who suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. And I've got a few friends of mine who suffer from Trump derangement syndrome.
So do I.
And here's the sad part.
Oh yeah.
None of those people even gave him a sniff before he came down that escalator in 2015. And none of them took him serious until he won that very first debate. That's been something that I have brought up 100 times. And the people with Trump derangement syndrome never answer me with a straight answer. How did you feel about him beforehand? Oh, I really didn't think about him. It wasn't until he ran for president. Oh, really? Well, what was it about him that made you dislike him? Well, he's a racist. How is he a racist? Well, look at what he said about Charlottesville. Yeah, you mean the whole 7-minute and 47-second speech?
Well,
No, you're talking about the 18 seconds that was manipulated by CNN and MSNBC. Give me a break. I don't want to hear it. And since we're on this subject, the video that he posted about the Lion King, which I am pretty damn sure was intended to stay in-house, that got out.
yep.
I thought the thing was funny.
A lot of people thought the thing was funny. A lot of people found it hilarious. And
Actually, I never saw it. Saw the whole thing. I don't really care. What I thought was funny was that everybody got their panties in a wad about that, and the stuff that has been put out with Trump's face on it by the left has been twice as bad, 3 times as bad
right.
as anything that ever was.
But here's the problem.
Just
Mom.
hypocritical.
The problem is that there is a picture that has been painted. And if you kind of see this all the way through to fruition, you'll understand where I'm at with that. There's a picture that's been painted. And this is something that I've said numerous times. There was a guy who said, well, at one time, if you tell a lie big enough and you tell that lie consistent enough and you tell that lie day after day after day, the lie is still a lie. It just becomes perceived as the truth. Now, that guy was a guy named Joseph Goebbels. And if you don't know who Joseph Goebbels was, he was the propagandist minister for Nazi Germany. He was the architect of the anti-Jewish rhetoric. Now, there were others that were involved, but he was the one who perfected that. He's the one who had regular everyday Germans convinced that the problem with Germany was the Jew and that they were going to destroy the world with Bolshevism.
In that video, they also had Jeffries, and there was another black woman on there, and they weren't portrayed as a monkey or an ape.
No, but Kamala Harris was a turtle.
I think they just got their feelings all hurt again. But if you look at political humor from almost day one, when they remember when you used to read the newspaper, read a newspaper, those were cruel. If that right there should have told you whether or not if your feelings get hurt easily, you shouldn't go anywhere near politics.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, look, they had Adam Schiff as a giraffe. Let me see. They had Joe Biden as I think an orangutan. He was. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was an orangutan.
Well, see, and they gave him brains. So why would you?
Kind of weird that they did that, right? Yeah, I mean, I would have looked at it, maybe made him like a 3-toed sloth.
That's more like it. That's more like
That'd still be too quick for him.
Right.
All right. It is time to say goodbye for another week. We are going to talk about next week. We're going to talk about Colorado government. And Nellie, you are welcome to come on board. You're going to be in for a hell of a ride because let me tell you something about Colorado government right now. You're in Texas. Just stay in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm in Kansas, so I ain't gonna be leaving here anytime soon.
If I was in any position too, I'd probably be moving to Texas tomorrow.
Hey,
But
Keith, do me
What's up?
a favor, man, for your own sanity. Just stay in Kansas.
They'll be ready.
I'll message you later about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keith, here's a funny thing for you. I grew up in Buena Vista, Colorado, small town. There was a family named Hoover up there.
Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I'm originally born and raised in Aurora.
Okay, well, you may be related to him. I don't know what happened to him. I've been
Yeah,
gone
I
from there
don't
for a
know.
long time.
I don't know.
All right, y'all. We are going to talk about Colorado government. I want to wish everybody a happy rest of their weekend. Enjoy President's Day tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow is President's Day.
Thank you for having me.
thanks for coming on, you guys.
For those of you who don't know, I will be reading the President Washington's farewell address. I'll be doing it on Facebook Live like I do every year on President's Day. That's become a little tradition of mine is to read the man's words, man. They are very important words to remember. Yeah. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America. Nellie, thank you for coming on. You are welcome anytime. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.us.